Hi everyone.
Hello.
Look, I've got Shakur and Kat with me.
Hey.
And it's week 3 of treating the back with Shiatsu and TCM. So we've got a pretty packed program. We're going to review the last 2 weeks and then we're going to have some fun doing some exercises with you. So I hope you've got your pen and paper. If you haven't, please run and get it because you're going to need it in about 15 minutes or 20 minutes time. And then we're going to do some, and then Shakur and I are going to work together. We've got another camera. Okay, so Kat's going to be giving you a really good view of the work, and we're going to explore how we can use different vibrational levels to energize the points. So if you'd just like to say hi on the chat, Diana is looking after the chat. I'm going to put a hi from all of us, even though it's only me, because we're all logged on as me. So there we are. That's me in the chat. Diana's there. I can see that, and lots of familiar names in the chat. So there we go. Okay, so let's just, without further ado, let's just have a look at the slides. So as I said, this is part 3 of 3 workshops. I hope you've enjoyed the other 2, and they are linked, as we'll explain later on. They're linked to a couple or 3 actually new energy work courses that are online with lots of video content and stuff like that. So in week 1. We looked at Western medicine contraindications. We looked at the way that Western medicine categorizes back pain. And we looked at the lower burner, and we did a whole load of stuff on diagnosis and treatment. And then we switched it up a bit in week 2. We did a whole session, if you remember last week with Diana, she did an overview of TCM. Then we looked at the middle burner, particularly working with the diaphragm. And then we had a video about tensegrity, the sailboat and the lighthouse contrast. I love that video with Tom Myers. So here we are, week 3 already, and we're going to look this week at the upper burner, some of the points we can use for that treating the upper back, and we're going to look a little bit closer into how we can get different levels of information from the scanning and the HARA and the points, so vibrational levels. So that's what we're going to be doing this week. Okay, so let's just find out how confident you are in treating the upper burner back issues, and I'll just get an idea. Okay, so here's the options: very confident, confident, neutral, unconfident, or very unconfident.
Is it possible to make, because Diana's not a moderator, so she can't flag up questions?
Oh,
is it too
okay.
late for us to do that? Or
Yeah.
Can we
Right.
make her an
admin? Yeah, do you want to go and...
Yeah.
We can do it, you can do it there.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so yeah, let's have a look. Okay, mainly confident. Hopefully it's been a cumulative thing. So we've got about a third of you saying neutral or unconfident. So hopefully we can improve that and we can get those of you confident, very confident by the end of the session. So here we go. Okay, so here's the program for week 3. We're going to spend a little bit of time reviewing week 1 and 2. And then we're going to do an introduction to the upper heater. We're going to do some practical exercises on vibrational level diagnosis and some practical treatment methods, and then look at how meridians and points resonate with the upper burner and what kind of things we can do when we're treating. Okay, so here we go. Here is the week 1 review. We looked at Western medicine and back pain, and we introduced the method of advanced diagnosis. We looked at practical treatment methods and some lower burner stuff. So let's have a look and just quickly review this. Okay, this is really interesting that even though with Western medicine, about 98% of back pain is non-specific. So it's got no serious underlying pathology. But as Shiatsu practitioners, we really need to know, what to look out for, just in case there is something like cancer, osteomyelitis, or abscesses. Okay, so if you get some strange symptoms and you're not sure what you're doing, it's always best to refer to a medical practitioner. Having said that, Western medicine often doesn't have that much to offer, really.
Although I did have a client once where I held onto her lower back and a hand on the HARA, and something felt not right at all.
Okay, yeah.
And I said, it's not to scare you. I think there's something else going on. I recommend you go to the GP.
Yeah.
And she had, I think, stage 3 cancer in the womb, cervical cancer.
Right.
And afterwards she went, I'm so glad you told me to go to the doctor.
Yes.
She was like, how did you know? And I was like, something just didn't feel right.
There we are, yeah.
Just didn't feel right. Go to the doctor.
So that's really good advice.
So go to the doctor. It's useful. Yeah.
That's right, yeah, because, I mean, it's best to cover yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Western medicine.
Obviously, Shiatsu is good too. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah, no, but I mean, just covering yourself in case there's an underlying pathology. That's the main thing. Okay, so then week 2, we obviously you can look back at the whole webinar, which we'll explain a bit later. That's all being stored for you, thanks to Kat's work, sorting out the videos and loading them up. So week 2, we switched our attention to TCM and back pain. Dinah did a lovely session. We looked at practical treatment methods for the middle burner. So there we are. Butong, Zedong, Tong, Ze, Butong. Pain is all to do with free flow in Chinese medicine. And that Shiatsu is, of course, brilliant for that.
Yeah.
Removing obstruction. Okay, here we are, back pain. Don't forget that the whole back is influenced by the kidney and bladder channels. The most common pathologies are kidney key deficiency, stagnation of key and blood, often related to the liver, and then invasion of pernicious influences from the outside. So they're basically things to watch out for. And if you're more interested in that, then check out the slides and the video from last week where we went into a lot of detail on TCM. It's useful to know about TCM as well because of point actions, isn't it? Yeah. And then this is going to be a big one for this week because we're going to be working on the upper heater, which of course is the heart center. And we talked a little bit about emotional factors. The most common meridians related to emotional factors are the liver because of liver key stagnation, the heart obviously because it's the center of the emotions and the shen, and lungs because they are related to sadness and grief. And those upper burner, well, and the liver actually, because the liver can basically affect the whole body, stagnation anywhere in the body. But obviously the heart and lungs and the heart protector are more related to the upper burner. So, okay, we'll see how we get on today, and we'll try and cover the upper burner stuff, and then maybe we'll have a look at how all the channels can affect, the whole back.
And if you do have any questions, put them in the chat. And now I have changed Dinah to be a moderator. So Dinah, if you log out and log back in again,
okay, Dinah,
you should be able to
moderate it. Okay,
have
brilliant.
The powers.
Brilliant. Okay, great. So let's see. Okay, so we looked at the middle burner, some practical techniques, looking at the liver and gallbladder, and we worked the stomach and spleen. We did have a load of points, and we've got handouts for that with the major points there. And we also looked at the triple heater. Triple heater 5 was a surprise one. It's one for regulating the chi moving between the upper and lower body there, often connected to the diaphragm. So we covered loads of stuff there.
But it makes sense though, doesn't it? Because the bow point is Dantian for triple heater.
Yes.
So drawing everything in.
Yeah, exactly. Connecting the upper. And also because the gallbladder and the liver's related to the diaphragm, and so is the heart protector, because they're in the same division, stuff like that. It's all fun TCM connections there. We love that. Okay, here we go. So that was last week. And then this is my latest chart. I'm ever so pleased with this. Because what it does is it shows how we get different levels of information. Some of it's local. In other words, you can actually feel things happening in a certain place in the body. And some of it is multi-dimensional information. It might be stuff from the past. It might be vibrational level information that's more in the field that resonates in that area. So I just thought I'd draw this diagram to kind of indicate how we combine local palpation of body tissue. In other words, does it feel kyo jitsu in the actual area? The meridian resonance. So you can have the same blockage in the same place of the spine with 2 or 10 different people, but they're going to have different meridian resonances. You know what I mean? So that means that even though the stiffness or the obstruction or the weakness is in exactly the same place, because we can check out the resonances, we would treat those people completely differently. Like one person we might be supporting the heart meridian, another person we might be moving the chi in the liver meridian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the most amazing thing about getting the meridian information. and when I say meridian information, I mean meridian resonance. I don't mean the actual channel. You know what I mean? That's another important thing. It's the channel information is more local. Is it on this channel? But obviously the meridian resonances like liver chi stagnation can affect the whole body on all different levels, can't it? So let me introduce that. Okay, so now it's time for energy exercise. Hooray! And I'm going to go through, I'm going to talk you through what I'm going to do, and then we'll do it together. So I'm going to first of all I'm going to do it with you. We're going to tune into all 3 burners and draw the energy or the key in each one. Then we're going to do a second phase of the exercise where we're going to tune into our upper burner, and then we're going to check it on 4 different vibrational levels. And then we'll do a poll and find out as a group which level is the most dominant in the upper burner, okay? And the reason we were doing this is because that's the first stage to being able to scan it on someone else. If you can scan it on yourself, then you can scan it on someone else. So that's the idea. Okay, so I will...
I'll wiggle out the way.
Just going to rearrange the camera slightly. So that's it. Okay. And so you can actually do this sitting down or standing up. We're going to just first of all tune into, that's fine. I'm standing on the foot on, that's all right, yeah. So first of all, what we need to do is just get the piece of paper and divide it up into 3 heaters. And we'll find out how each of the heaters feel, what it's like, and then we'll scan the upper heater and work on, and then tune in on the 4 vibrational levels. Okay. Are you going to do this? You could do this exercise. Yeah. Good. Okay.
I'll do it quiet.
Are you going to do it, Kat?
I will.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great. So.
How can I not?
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the same room.
You're in the field. Yeah. You can't avoid it, can you? Okay. So look, here we go. First thing to do is tune into the lower burner. That's from the navel all the way around, pelvic floor, all the way around into the sacrum, this whole area here. Okay, so we're just going to take a moment and we're going to just relax, tune in internally. Okay, just ask yourself, what is that like? Okay, turn that into an image or some words. I'm going to draw that in the lower burner area. You can write some words if you like as well. So, okay. So that's the lower burner. I'm going to move up to the middle burner. So this is underneath the diaphragm all the way round and down to the navel. So it's this whole section here that includes the liver and the stomach and spleen, really. Okay. So again, we're just standing, relaxing, tuning into the middle burner. Ask yourself, what is that like? Okay, turn that into an image, and then we can draw that into the middle burner bit of our paper. Okay. And then we're going to go up to the upper burner, which is above the diaphragm, around the lungs, the heart area, and into the back. Okay, and we're asking ourselves, what is that like? Okay, turn that into a picture, and then we're going to draw that. And the reason we're doing this is we just want to get information about the upper burner. We're now going to scan that onto 4 levels. So I can show you my picture. It looks a bit like that. So what I'm going to do now is take this feeling here, this upper burner feeling, and we're going to scan that through 4 levels and see what happens. So now, for the second part of the exercise, all you need to do is take your piece of paper, draw a cross like this. So you've got 4 areas, like that. Okay. And we're going to put physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual as the 4 levels. And so we're just going to see if we get a different type of information from each of those 4 levels. So here we go. And we're going to focus in just on the upper burner, because then we can link that directly with the points and the meridian resonances that we're going to do in a moment. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so we're going to first of all just relax. Tune in internally. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to focus in on the upper burner. Okay, and we're going to tune in on the physical level to the upper burner. So that includes the lungs, the heart, pericardium, the thoracic, upper part of the thoracic spine, and this whole area here. We're going to tune in on the physical level and just get an idea of what it's like. Okay. Okay, and we're going to just turn that into an image or some words and draw that in the first of our 4 boxes, the physical box. So draw that in. Okay. Right, okay, excellent. So now we go up onto the emotional level. So again, just going to relax. Tune into the upper burner again. Okay, and now we're going to tune into it on an emotional level. And ask ourselves, what is that like? Okay, and then turn that into an image. And then I'm going to draw that. Okay. And then going up to the 3rd level, which is the mental level, which is see what that's like. So again, standing, relaxing. Tuning into the upper burner again. Okay, and then we're going to tune in on the mental level, psychological level. Okay, it's a little bit of a different level because it's less somatic, it's less, structured physically. So just see if we can get some information there. Okay, and then turn that into an image. Okay, and when you're ready, then draw that in on the 3rd box. Okay. Okay. Okay, and then finally the fourth level, the spiritual level. Let's just see what kind of information we get from that. We're going at about the right pace, do you think? Not too slow. Okay. Right, so then let's tune in again, relax again. Okay, tuning into the upper burner again. Okay, and then we're going to tune in on the spiritual level. And ask yourself, what is that like? Okay, turn that into an image. And then we're going to draw that in the fourth box. Okay, right, excellent. So now I've got a poll for you. Pretty sure I've got a poll lined up. Let's just put it back in again. Let's have a look. Where is it? Oh yeah, here we are. Here we are. Okay, so I've got a poll. That's poll 2, which is here. So looking at your picture, which is the main level or the strongest level that your upper burner resonated on? That's what we're going to ask. I'm going to ask that. We'll just see what the group feels like. Here we go. Here's the poll. Okay, let's have a look. Whoa, okay. Wow, look at that. Wow, look at that.
I thought it would come out emotional level.
Yeah, same here. I've had a pretty good idea that the emotional level would come out top, but the spiritual level is only slightly in second place. So we've actually got spiritual really is quite, but I guess that's the heart center and the Shen and all that kind of thing, isn't it? Okay, I'll show you my picture now. Whoa, I'll tell you what, a few surprises I had. Here's my picture. I'll tell you one of the biggest surprises I had, maybe I shouldn't be surprised, is that I actually felt my physical spine was actually resonating more strongly on the emotional level. So when I tuned in on the physical level, I mainly felt the actual lungs, you know. But when I tuned in on the emotional level there, I got a strong sensation that my back was resonating with that. The mental level wasn't so strong, but the spiritual level, and I can kind of relate to that because that was actually quite a strong heart center Shen type experience there. So there we go. That's it. Let's have a look. I don't know if there's any questions so far. If there are any questions about the exercises so far, otherwise we'll go on and we'll do the practical. Let's have a look at the slides. Yeah, okay. Okay, so here we are. Here's the actual the slide of the points, and I've got that as a handout. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to share that as a handout, and it will be available online as soon as we get it on the online course. If you want to download it now, you can. So this is basically just some of the favorite points that we use when we're working on the upper burner, working with the upper burner meridians, and we're going to actually work with those. I just thought I'd do a little demo and integrate that in with vibrational level stuff. So let's just see if there are any questions. We've got one question come up straight away. All right, okay, that's interesting. Shuddhava, here we go. Shuddhava found that one side of her neck was physical and the other one was emotional.
Whoa.
Oh, that's interesting. I'd like to know which side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, left or right. I think that might be interesting to know. just because the liver dominates the right hand side of the body. That'd be, if it was my client, I definitely want to know that. So maybe she could tell us in the chat. Okay, very good. So if you've got any other questions, just let us know. Oh, the right was emotional. There we are. So should have. Yeah, so there we are. I thought so. If I had to guess it, it's the liver for you. That's just a guess, of course. I wouldn't know unless I check the resonances. I'm just guessing etherically there. Okay, so should we do some practical work then? Should we do some practical stuff? Okay, so what I thought we'd do is we'll just, I'm just going to work with Shakura. I'm going to I'll work your upper back and just see if there's anything that can feel this, if this comes up. And we can do the vibrational level stuff. Let's just see if we can get the cameras and everything in a nice position. And if there are any questions as we go through, just let us know. So would you like to just go straight in and just, if you lie down like this, that way. And I think I'll just do it without questioning this time. We'll just go straight in and I'll just palpate and just see if I can find anything to work.
Shakura. This one.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, let's try this.
Yay, whoa, there we go. Excellent. Okay, yeah. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to palpate your spine, okay? See what's happening. Okay. I'm just going to do it in the supine position. Okay, it feels pretty good to me. Pretty good, yeah. Good. The only thing I would say is that there's a bit of an obstruction here. I don't know if you can feel that around there, which is around the mid-thoracic. Okay, so if I was going to try and work everything out perfectly, I'd like that area to be. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe if you roll over this way, see if I can get in just around here, and I'll show you what I was doing. I just palpated like that. You can probably see, actually, look. You can see that. I'm palpating up. It'll get just to there. Can you see that? Yeah. It's more obstructed there. And it's more or less in the heart diagnostic area, but we'll find out when we do the resonances what the level. I'd like to check the levels and check the meridians. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. So there's two different ways we can do it. We can either just start off we can either check the meridians and then check the levels, or we can just check the general vibrational level of it. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll check the general vibrational level, and I'll do that by scanning. Okay, so what I would do is this, just tune it like this. So now what I'm doing is I'm bringing my awareness here into the area of her back. Okay, and then I'm scanning on physical level, emotional, mental, and then spiritual level. Okay, and the main contraction can feel is on the mental level. It's more on the mental level. So let's see if we can figure out which meridians are resonating. Okay, so I tell you what, shall I check all the meridians? Because we had a comment last week, which was basically, why didn't he check all of them? I think it was Biggie. Why didn't you check all the meridians? Because we were trying to keep it just middle burner. Yeah. But I think to make it more realistic, especially as it's part 3, we'll go through all of them. Okay, now there's different ways of doing it. We can either do a regular hara diagnosis and come up with a Kyojitsu diagnosis and then check the resonances, or we can check the resonances with that area. You know what I mean? And it depends a bit on what we're doing, how specific it is. Like if you came in, you said, and I asked you what the aim of the session was. You said, I really want this. I'd be tempted to check it, the direct resonances directly. You know what I mean? Yeah. So should we do it that way? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay. So to do that, we've got two options. We can either scan into that area and check the hara, or the way I prefer to do it is to literally palpate the area and see what the responses are. Okay, so let's just put my hand up there. Thank you very much. It's a little bit higher up, isn't it? That there. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so now my hand is here on that area where it's obstructed, and now I'm going to palpate round. And what I'm doing now is I'm looking for two things. I'm looking for the connection, which will tell me that that meridian is connected to it. And then it's very difficult to separate the resonance with the energetic effect of the palpation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because what will happen is as you palpate, usually this change occurs in that area. So let's try it and see. Yeah. Okay. So heart, liver, gallbladder. Gallbladder, liver. I'll say it a bit louder. Heart, gallbladder, liver, lung. Oh, okay. Stomach, triple heater. Oh, lung, heart protector, spleen, kidney, bladder, large intestine, small intestine, and large intestine. Okay, so there's quite a few different ones there, actually. I'd say the one that's most related to the contraction is the liver. Yeah. But also lung. There was something definitely strong with lung. Did you feel that?
Yeah, it's like the sides of it.
Yeah, the side. It kind of opened out. So
I could feel it from
could you feel
here,
it? Yeah. I think. Okay, I'm going to do an interesting experiment now. Just bear with me here. We're just making this up as we go along, because let's do it the other way around. Let's see if gallbladder. If I go for more of a global diagnosis. Because typically what you're doing in the clinic is a lot of times you do what I call a global diagnosis, where you'll just do a regular Shiatsu diagnosis. And then once you've got the meridians, then you can check them with the area. You know what I mean? So if I just, I'm just going to relax. I'm relaxing. I'm opening up my awareness. I'm not just focusing on there. I'm focusing on the whole of Shakura's energetic field. And I'm trying to open myself up and kind of like keep it as clear as I can. And so I just do a regular hara diagnosis. Yeah, I still think I'd probably go. The only thing that's I felt a little bit in the bladder, a little bit of bladder care there, and a little bit jitsu in the spleen. So if I do the Kyojitsu reaction, let's just see. We've got this. No. I'd still go with metal element. I think Kyo. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, so now we've got more on the mental level. We've got lung and we've got liver. Now the liver, of course, is in the middle burner, so that we did that last week. But we've got the lung that we can work, and that's the Kyo anyway. So maybe we can just do some stuff and see what we can do. We've got lung 1 and lung 5. Lung 1 is really important because it basically governs the chi in the whole chest. And lung 5 is a really interesting point because it treats the sinews. It's an actual sinew point. So I'll be very interested to know what happens to that area when we work lung 1 and 5. Should we do that?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So let's just do a little bit of regular work here. I'm just checking the Shakura's liver and gallbladder channels here, like that. Sure enough, this is the lung, or the lung Kyo here, and this, what we can feel here, is more the liver and gallbladder jitsu. I'm just checking that. Okay, so because I'm interested to know what's going to happen in that area of the back, I'm going to position myself like this. I'm going to place my hand underneath here and get in touch with that area there. What I'm going to do now is just sedate the liver a little bit and just see whether she likes that or not. So I'm just going to just work here. And the answer is not really, not very much. It doesn't really do much, does it? I've got a good connection there, but I don't think so, no. But that just confirms the resonances. So the next thing is to work the lung. So I'm going to hold now. So now I'm really tuning in with my mother hand underneath here. And I'm going to work down here. This is lung 2. And already I can feel a really good connection right the way through into that area. That's only lung 2. So
wait for number 5.
Yeah. There we are. That's more like it. Okay, I can feel it starting to open out, the whole chest opening out. And the most important thing is that obstruction where my fingertips are underneath there is opening out. Okay, now at the moment I'm working open in the sense that I'm not focusing on any particular vibrational level. But if I wanted to, and this is kind of advanced work, it's part of the Vibrational Levels course, just to give you a taste of this if you're not familiar with the material, is I'm going to go into my alignment here, and I'm going to shift up onto the mental level and focus it in on a higher vibrational level. And the way I'm doing that is by using different dantians. I'm opening out like this. So rather than, I don't know if you can see the difference, but if I drop my energy down to physical level, this is more like a physical level connection. And then if I open up onto the emotional level, it's more like that. And then if I open up the mental level, it's more like that. And it's all to do with the alignment and where I'm focusing the chi from. So now if I do this, what should happen is I should get a more convincing connection. So let's just see. Something like that. Something like that, Shikura?
Yeah, that feels good. Yeah, it really feels like it's opening.
Opening out, yeah, that's it. So what I'm doing is I'm fine-tuning the vibrational level with the point. Okay, so that was pretty exciting. So let's go down and see what happens when we get to lung 5. Go down the lung channel. I'm just going to see if I can. Here we are. And that's just even when I get close to lung 5, I can feel a major change there. Even when my side of my hand got to it.
Yeah.
Could you feel it?
Yeah, just like softening all around where the hand is.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the lung channel here. I'm going to go in, and now this is lung 5, okay? And I am tuning in. That's a really nice connection. Checking the vibrational level. I'm shifting it up more onto the mental level. So it's like that. Yeah, you can feel the pitch kind of raising up. Yeah. Now, just if I now open it out onto all the levels, just to give it a bit more space, it'll be like something like that, a bit more space, and then focusing on more on the mental level. It kind of, if I had to express it in a sound, it would kind of be like, instead of it's like yeah, that's it. Yeah. So that's an example of a local area. Meridian resonance, connection with the diagnostic meridians, and focusing it on the right vibrational level. And once all those things are in place, that's when you get such quick changes.
Exactly, like,
it's just like fine tuning, isn't it? And it just okay. So let's just see. Even though we don't have this on the handout, let's just see whether. Well, we've got large intestine 4. Let's just see where the large intestine. Let's go down the lung channel and just see if there's any other exciting SUBOs or anything down here. I'm going to keep my alignment, change the vibrational level. A little bit, but nothing nowhere near as exciting as lung 5. And then we've got lung 10. No. Lung 11. No, nothing very exciting down there. Okay, so my favourite is this one, followed by this one. Okay, so now let's work large intestine. Large intestine, of course, is used for releasing, and I did get large intestine Kyo in Shikura when I was palpating, so it's like a metal element thing. So there's a reasonable chance that some of the large intestine channel points might work, but let's find out, shall we? Let me see. I'll pick it up around here. Go down. This is large intestine channel. This kind of general feeling connection. That I think is lung 5 actually. I covered it. Let me get onto large intestine 11. Oh, here we go. Large intestine 10. That has an effect, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like a whole body thing, but also all the way down my spine into my sacrum, like either side.
Oh, right.
I can feel it all relaxed. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because that's large intestine 10, it is similar to stomach 36.
Exactly.
It's an overall tonifying point for the whole body. It's not on the handout actually, but yeah, so that's I think what you were feeling there. Yeah, generally increasing the general chi. Okay, so let's go down. That's not too bad. It's a little bit releasing, but nothing, again, not as exciting as like what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think lung 5 and then large intestine 10.
Were the two favourites?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Would you like me to do the other side? Let's just check and see whether, let's just check and see.
Softer.
Yeah, does it feel?
Yeah.
Does it? Yeah, just move over a little bit, that's fine. I think you just do it. That's it. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I'm going to put my hand up again. Wow, okay. I can't actually feel it on that side now. I can't, is it there? It's not really.
You don't really feel so much.
I can't really feel it now. Just a little bit of remnant on that side. I'm feeling on the left side of the spine. I can just feel about like 10% of it is left. That's all. So, okay. Let's just see. Let's just check the points and just see. I'm going to align myself again. Tune in on the mental level. Okay. Focus the connection. Which is lung 2. There we are. I'm still getting a nice feeling of connection, but there's not so much excitement happening because it's just already 99% gone anyway. Okay, then I'll go down. Again, I'm getting a strong connection, but there's not much happening, I don't think, is there? Because there's not much to be done. No. Okay, let's just see if large intestine 10 does anything. Yeah, okay. What do you think?
Yeah, just a very strong, like, calming effect in the whole body, even the mind. I feel it like the whole body just calm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And that's still working because I think it's a bit more of a general overall effect rather than just for the mid back.
All needed from the whole body.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Ikora. Yes, good. I wonder if there's any questions. Maybe we should get some questions, and then how are we doing for time? Yeah, we've got another 15 minutes, so maybe we could cover some of the fire element points. Maybe you could work on them with me. I don't know.
I'll just
swap the camera around. Yeah, you did a great job there.
There we go.
Yeah, brilliant. We're back. Okay, so let's just see.
There are some questions.
There are some questions. So let's see what they are. Right. Okay.
Do you know what though? Even holding the camera, you could, when you found the points, all of a sudden, even the energy in the room shifted, and I was like, before you went, oh, there's a good one, you could feel it.
Yeah,
like, that's where
they feel it at home.
Yeah, I'm sure they can. They're tuning in energetically. Yeah. Okay. Here we. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, here we go. Has Cliff got his hand right across the spine, or only on the right side? And is it T1 to 3 or 4 to 6? It was T4 to 6. It was the heart diagnostic area, and I had my hand sometimes over the whole area, didn't I? And then when I was doing one side, I got more specific to that side. Yeah, exactly. That's Fran asking that question. Here's a technical thing. Mudra, where do I find the handouts on the homepage? This one here I loaded down, but the last 2 classes I missed that. Okay, they are they're actually, you've done it, haven't you, Kat? It's already the last 2 weeks. They're on New Energy Work. You have to log in. If you're not a member yet, you can become a free member. I'll talk about the memberships later on, but you have to sign in to get to them. But they're all there, and they'll all be there for you for your
Give me another week.
give Kat a bit of a break, and she'll have it all ready for you. We'll let you know. We'll let you know.
But week 1 and 2 is there.
Week 1 and 2 are already
there.
there. The videos are there, aren't they? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so how do you do this technique with very overweight clients? When putting my fingers near the spine on heavy people, I can hardly focus on different levels and resonances because my fingers hurt from the weight. Yeah, Brigitte, yes. Okay, that is true. And that's when I would scan. I would just scan through. I can show you how to do that. It doesn't look like much, but I'll give you. I'll demonstrate. Yeah. Or you can do it on me. Do you want to do it on me?
Do it on you.
Yeah.
You might be able to feel it though.
Sorry?
Through the screen.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you can. Yeah. That's it. We've got just over 10 minutes left, so yeah.
So yeah, I think we spoke about that in our tutorial.
Yes.
That we did, but when you're scanning, then it's like as if your mind is taking, the hand that's there, as if it's holding that area.
Sure.
And you can just imagine it in your, the whole structure and everything in your mind, and scan through.
Okay.
Should we do a global scan first, or do?
Why don't you just scan? I mean, we could be here all night, literally. Yeah, let's make it a 2-hour webinar. No, why don't you just scan up my upper heater and see what it's like? Yeah. And you can just talk them through what you're doing.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So getting into my alignment, and then taking my awareness out to Cliff. And instead of scanning everything, I'm just going to focus on his upper heater. And in this way, it's as if my hand was there, so I can tune in on a physical level, sort of notice what's happening with vertebrae. And the first thing that comes to mind is that the top few vertebrae, T1, T2, T3, they feel quite close together, whereas everything else feels quite nicely spaced. These are just a bit more compressed together.
Okay.
And then scanning on an emotional level. Again, there's quite a lot of activity happening there. It kind of feels like it's related to the throat chakra.
Mm-hmm.
On a mental level. Feels quite very clear on a mental level, but very much pointing forwards, like this very much kind of forward moving activity.
Okay.
And then I take my focus to his upper heater and think about it on a spiritual level. And it feels very spacious and open. So that's one way that you can kind of tune in without actually placing your hand in the area, but just, with your mind's eye, imagining the area. And then you can kind of choose which level felt most active. And I think for me, it would, I don't know.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? I don't know which one to do.
Exactly. So definitely physically, very interesting. The fact that literally physically the vertebrae to me felt kind of closer together.
Yeah.
And then the emotional, so really related to the throat chakra. But I would, between those two.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and I wonder if it might be worth also doing, because I didn't get a chance to do that, but I did the hara, didn't I?
Yes.
I did a global hara and I did a specific hara.
Yeah.
Why don't you, I think it'd be interesting for people to see how you can do a hara diagnosis that's related to this.
Yeah, exactly,
back. Yeah. So if you could demonstrate that would be good. Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm still having this upper heater in my mind, and taking myself into my alignment, making sure everything's clear, and then taking my awareness out, connecting with Cliff's whole body, and then taking my mind to just this area, his upper heater, and then I'm going to do a hara scan. So So just checking the edges. And then I'm going to, as I go to different areas, I'm just going to just be aware of whether it feels like there's a vibrational, it hits
or like a
something,
connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the heart kind of feels like an in-breath, a bit more spacious when I press that, kind of feels like connecting with that nice open feeling with on a spiritual level. And the stomach, not much. And the gallbladder feels like it's related, like on a physical level, that sort of contraction, triple heater, and that spacious feeling. The liver, yeah, it's like with that contraction. And then the lung, yeah, that's sort of that mental level, that quite a little bit intense sort of moving forward motion. Heart protector, interesting. Spleen, the kidney and the bladder. Large intestine, small intestine. So I think the most interesting ones I found really was this gallbladder, liver with that physical feeling, and then the lungs and the large intestine with that sort of mental, on that mental level.
Similar to what I got with you.
Basically.
But I thought that was really interesting actually, because that's a really good demonstration of how you were picking up multi-dimensional information. Do you notice that when the vibrational level was strong, that was one of the things you picked up, wasn't it? And so you picked that up just like, okay, that's the mental level of the word. Sort of shit.
Like when it's very clear.
Yeah, exactly. So let's have a look and see if there are any more questions. Otherwise, no? Okay. There's a stunned silence. Okay, just are there any other questions? No? Okay. Okay, because at the end of the next step, the other thing you could do now, because you can get your hand there, is you could put your hand there, couldn't you? And just double check to see whether your scan, because that's one of the things I really like doing, is to confirm the scans with the physical palpation, because then it gives you confidence, doesn't it?
Yeah, just
another thing. Yeah, so maybe you could do that if you can reach there and just see.
Well, it's confirming it a bit, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah, it confirms it. And I think if you do that enough times, then you start to really trust your scans.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Whereas sometimes at the beginning, you just think, have I imagined it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. As soon as I connect with the heart, it just feels like it creates space. It just sort of like opens like this. Really nice.
Right. That I can feel. I can feel that.
It feels uncomfortable for me to do that for you too.
I can feel it kind of like, it makes it almost like worse.
Exactly. Exactly. I won't do it, but placing my hand over the liver, it accentuates that like.
Yeah, it feels like.
Yeah. It's like, why would you do that? And then the large intestine, the lung, it just feels like that mental level, like very strong sort of borders, sort of moving forward feeling.
I suppose that's also, it is the lung diagnostic area as well, isn't it? Yeah. So that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Stomach. Again, it's a bit like an in-breath, like a relief. Again. Protector.
That feels more like throat. Yeah.
Yes, I can feel that in the throat. Could you feel it from there?
Yeah. Only gentle. It was just like. Oh.
Yeah.
Spleen, kidney, bladder. Large intestine, small intestine. Yeah, really interesting that the resonance with the large intestine while I'm holding this area. definitely feels like something's shifting.
So it did pretty much,
Same.
it coincided. It's just the same thing
Yeah.
as you with the scan. And that's what we're kind of aiming for. And that's, if you can't physically touch the area, then that, that's the way to do it. Okay, there we go. We've just got a few minutes left. I can't believe the time has just sped past, as always. So let's just see what other slides we've got. We've just got a few slides left. I hope you've really enjoyed that. It was a very informal kind of, almost like a tutorial kind of setting. Yeah. So we had, obviously, that's just what we can't kind of rehearse that. We just have to just, hope something that happens. Hopefully it happens. And I hope you enjoyed that. So we've got this handout. Obviously, you can do similar things with the other points. We can get onto the heart and heart center, but I think it's more important really to show something that's real rather than just a technique, isn't it? So, okay. So that was a practical demo. Thank you very much, Shakura. And we did those things. So what we've done is we've checked the vibrational levels in ourselves. That's the first stage in understanding how to do it. If you want more information on that, there's a whole online course called Vibrational Levels at New Energy Work. So we did the demo, scanning vibrational levels in that upper heater. We'd mainly worked on the lung there, but you can imagine how you could do a similar thing with the heart and heart protector. And then we looked at some resonances, meridians and points in the upper burners. So we actually covered that. We did the question and answer. Keep my eye just in case there are any more questions. It's got 3 minutes left. Okay, so now this is to tell you just a little bit about where all this information is. If you're not already a member, and I mean either as a professional member, premium, or a free member, this is where you can become a member, where it says memberships. We do give a huge amount of support out in the free membership, and I know many of you, we're getting up to nearly 3,000 now. It's that big. Yeah, it's climbing up towards 3,000. And we've got, quite a few professional members now, and it's growing all the time. And you can see why, because it's only €10 a month, and that gives you access to things like the Vibrational Levels course, which is a massive, great, resource course. And there's
a lot of film,
a lot of video, a lot of video material, and also treating the back as well. That's another course that's got a lot of video material. It was all shot before the pandemic, so we spent months on that, didn't we?
Exactly. Yeah.
We spent months and hours and hours and hours creating those courses, and there are many other ones. And you can fulfill all your CPD's continuing ed requirements from your comfort of your own home, and just join us every Tuesday. And that, what can go wrong? But yeah, seriously think about joining us. You can join with 1 month free at the moment. If you want to become a professional member, just try it out. So next week, if you're a professional member, every now and then, maybe about once a month, we have what we call a Tuesday tutorial, or every couple of months, or we have an Ask the Expert session. So we do have some content. We do have some live webinars that are restricted to professional premium members, so you can understand that, because we need to reward those of you who are supporting us, making it all work for us. And so I thought next week we could put it all together and do it, like a real, almost like a real session. Yeah, that'd be a really good idea to do that. So if you're not a member, why don't you join now? You just click on New Energy Work, go to memberships, and sign up, and you can have 1 month free on us just to try it out. And you can unenroll at any time, so there's no pressure there. But it is useful to have some income to keep the lights on. We can't afford to do it, sadly, all for free. Okay, so that's the end of it. Okay, and when we will inform you, look, Kat, we will inform you as soon as all the resources are loaded on the membership area. And that means when Kat gets time in her busy schedule to put it all up, because she works really hard getting all of those things up. So there we are, lots of hearts on the chat. I'll put a heart on from us all. Hope you really enjoyed it. And we've got loads of interesting things coming up. We're putting together the summer school. That's looking really exciting. We've got a special guest for that. So we've got some really interesting things coming up. Lots of it's free, and we've got some stuff for the professional members as well. So that's it. 7 o'clock. Time to go. Thanks ever so much. Take care. See you next time.